us off and get into the goods of what Road to Hire is and what we do. You see on this first slide, we focus on paid tech training, college scholarships, career placement, and life mentorship. And one of the things that I love about working at Road to Hire and the things that I see is that once you're a part of the Road to Hire family, you really are in it for good. Even after departure from the program, there are still resources that are accessible to you. And so we'll hear more about that later down the road. So in general, Road to Hire is a talent development platform for our city's most under-resourced young adults. It is no secret, it is no mystery that in tech fields specifically, there is underrepresentation of people of color, there's underrepresentation of under-resourced young adults, there's underrepresentation of women. And so we are giving these people in these groups opportunities to get trained up and into these spaces. We know that there is not a shortage of talent in this group, but there is a shortage of opportunity. And so what we are doing is providing that opportunity. So here's how this whole operation works. So employers commit to creating internships and full-time career path jobs specifically for Road to Hire students. So a little bit of history here. This was a setup that was just existing under the umbrella of Red Ventures. We would find under-resourced young adults, train them up, give them the resources they need, and then they would cycle back into employment under Red Ventures. And then we realized there's a lot more companies in Charlotte than Red Ventures dedicated to that work. And so we've expanded to partner companies such as Duke Energy, such as Wells Fargo, such as Atrium Health, to create more pathways and more options for our participants in the program. So our staff has about 30, and I would say now as we've grown, probably 40 people and 400 volunteers that provide long-term support for students from high school through college into that 1 to 2 years of that first professional job. The goal for us as an organization and a goal that we instill in our participants is that after connected with a partner company, to be there for a year to focus on retention there. But then also equipping people for the time after that, if they decide to transition into other employment, if they decide to expand to another part of that industry, that you also have the tools for that as well. So Road to Hire rides the rails of systems and organizations ready to do this work. We are not alone in this work, and we are so grateful for our partners in the network that makes this all happen. So a little bit of history and context. So traditionally, we serve folks from 18 to 25 years of age without access to a college degree. The apprenticeship program specifically is a 6-month long program, and it's a paid training program. And so we are paying people to work with the goal and the aspiration that people can really participate in this and fully focus. We understand that putting your life on pause for 6 months to get trained up is not really ideal. If you have families, we have people in the program that are parents, we have people in the program that are caretakers. And so we want to make sure people are covered during that time as they participate in our program. 100% of our people in the programs are underrepresented in tech, and there are multiple tech career tracks. So when I got hired on, we were running our very first history-making cybersecurity cohort. And then we are now in a current coding cohort as well. And so there are multiple paths that we have available to you. We also dedicate tech and life skills through mentorship. So when in this program, we match you and connect you with someone you can lean on in tech to ask questions, to run over projects, to just get advice on life. And then we also have a life mentor for you as well that you'll be matched with to ask about professional development questions and just what it's like in the corporate world. It's good to have another voice and another person to lean on in that way. And at the end of the process, the goal is placement with top employers upon graduation, making a minimum of $50,000 in salary as junior tech professionals. An overall big picture mission of Road to Hire as an organization is ending intergenerational poverty. And that means specifically looking at the numbers and specifically looking like, okay, how can we change people's lives? How can we get people in good positions? And how can we make this replicable work? So we're working on this in Charlotte. We're looking at Austin. We're looking at Richmond and Atlanta. So it's exciting to see this grow stably this way, but also having lateral moves and trying to push this mission to other spaces. So looking at our goals and a little bit of a timeline, as of 2020, which blows my mind, was 2 years ago, we have 195 alumni working in sustainable, high-earning tech careers. As discussed, You see that about 95% of folks have been in those positions for a full year after being matched, and 87% are promoted less than 2 years in that role. So it's not just about getting you in the doors, it's about having you thrive when you're there. Fast forwarding to this year, we have 100 new apprenticeship graduates starting career paths at 8 employers. So we have folks placed at Bank of America, here at home at Red Ventures, Ally, Lowe's Corporation, and Duke Energy. Looking to the future in 2025, our goal is to have 200 plus annual apprenticeship graduates and 5 high growth career tracks. And so we talked about coding and cybersecurity being on our ledger, but we also would love to have business intelligence and analytics, software development, and even nursing. So we're dreaming big, thinking outside of tech in the future to see, okay, how can we get people placed in careers with longevity, but also having a diversity of what we can offer. Coding. So as I told you at the beginning, if you're a keen listener, I'm a professional development instructor. So as I go through these skills that you will learn in tech, you have full permission to laugh at me if I mispronounce one of these terms. So going through the 6-month program, we are focusing on 2 halves of a well-prepared whole. So we have our coding training and our professional development training, so that when we get you into these doors, we're not just saying, here are the skills, good luck finding a job. We're saying, here are the skills, here's how to develop in your career as a professional. Let's see how far you can go. So for the coding side of things, we have skills training in app dev lifecycle methods and processes, computer and networking basics, unit and string testing, and cloud deployment. They study version control, such as Git, front-end technologies, back-end technologies, and agile training methodology. I may not be deep into coding, but I am deep into instruction. And one thing I love about our coding instructors is that they're not necessarily, especially at the beginning stages, looking for perfection and accuracy. They're looking at processes. They're looking at how you think. And so we're not just handing you skills and hoping that you can memorize things and go back into the world and do what you need to do. They're looking at, okay, how can you process something? They're looking at how you problem solve. And these are huge things that our employers look for as well. So we're sending out revolutionary people in coding as well, which is super exciting to see. All right, back to home base for me. So we talked about that first half, coding. Now it's time to talk about that second half of professional development. So through the program, we learn soft skills and help people build lifelong habits for success, thinking about your future, not just while you're in our program, not just as you're a fresh alum, but for the rest of your life, wherever it leads you as a professional. So some of the things that we focus on in professional development is public speaking. We participate in something called Road Talks, which is an opportunity for you to share different speeches and subjects. We have a 5 to 7 minute block for you to share, for you to get body language and eye contact down, to maintain interest. We also focus on time management, making sure that as you go into this new field, you're able to create boundaries for yourself, to be able to be more organized and to understand sometimes when life gets tough and boundaries get pushed, how to navigate those spaces, because there are weeks where things go smoothly and there are weeks where you get thrown a million tasks that you weren't expecting. And so we focus on how to manage that. We talk about networking, building connections professionally and personally, what that looks like, tools you can use. One of my favorite things we teach is how to network as an introvert, what that looks like, how to network in a remote space when we can't be physically with one another at this time. We talk about problem solving. We train you guys for interviews, building resumes, and LinkedIn. We really send you out as a full package, really prepared, not necessarily trying to have you conform to the typical ideal of what a corporate person is, but enhancing the skills that you already have and already come into this program with, so that you do have something unique to offer when you step out into that space. All right, so next steps before we open the floor for Q&A about all things Road to Hire. If you do have questions that hit you like they hit me at like 11 a.m. and you're like, oh man, or 11 p.m. rather, forgot to ask it, feel free to reach out to Kelsey Thompson, whose contact information is there if there's anything you want to know. Gateway sessions, which are the preliminary sessions before the actual program begins. It's like the final round. Those sessions are all mandatory. Accepted applicants will complete a drug screen and background check for entry into the program. All accepted applicants must receive their vaccination dose, their first dose, by March 30th, just because of what we have expected from Red Ventures policy, as well as a lot of our partner companies' policy for health and safety. I want to make sure that that is covered and handled for you so you can move forward in confidence. And all accepted applicants will receive a stipend of $525 weekly as you are in this program. With that understood, first step, if you like what you heard today and you want to advance with this process, submit an application with Road to Hire. They are wonderfully communicative. This is definitely a company that is on it with their communication, so you will not be left in the dark for months and months at a time. Submit that application. We'll get the interview process rolling for you. Should the interview process go well for you, you will be into Gateway. And if you pass the interview, Gateway interview goes out so you can know exactly when to show up for those mandatory sessions. And then upon completion of Gateway and your presentation, you will be considered for acceptance into the program. So before I move on, I know you guys got a ton of information, a lot thrown at you. So I want to see if you guys have any questions for myself, for Alex, or for Kelsey. How can we help you?
I'm not sure if anybody else has any questions. I was going to ask originally about the vaccine situation, because currently I have been at home kind of avoiding being outside because some of my family members have caught in COVID and I've had to take care of them. I've had to be the one to go out, grab groceries, grab medicine, and I've just been the overall house caretaker of the grounds. But I felt like I've been coming down with a little something, but I'm feeling a lot better. So I was still going to go get checked out and get that test taken so I can also get my vaccine before it starts. I just wanted to know when I would have to get it by, but March 30 definitely seems doable. And I appreciate you mentioning that too.
Of course, absolutely. We like to be clear about dates, knowing that a lot of resources, especially with this wave, have been minimal. So I hope you feel better. Shout out to you for taking care of your family. And yes, you have plenty of time to be on the mend should it be necessary and get vaccinated by the 30th.
Yeah, I think I remember Kelsey sent me an email about the Gateway Day, so I'm not sure if I'm already into Gateway. I just show up.
Yep. If you got an email, I know we have a couple different people on the call who might be in different stages of that application timeline. Some might have submitted an application, some might be waiting for an interview or waiting for a response after their interview. And so we're on a kind of, I like to say a week, but maybe 2-week timeline. We have a lot of applicants, so we're really lucky, but also that means a lot of people to sort through some applications for. So wherever you are in the application timeline, if you received an email from me about Gateway, then you've been admitted into our Gateway program. So congratulations. And if at any point, if you don't hear from me or get an email from, I think it says like at no reply or roadtohire.org, something like that. If you don't receive any status update there within like a week or two of any of those stages that you're in, then feel free to reach out to me and I can provide an update. Great call too on the vaccination status. We are, just want to be clear, not requiring that you are vaccinated for Gateway because Gateway doesn't guarantee that you're in our program. It just guarantees that you've made it to the next stage of the application process. And so it is only for those, the vaccine is only required for those who are admitted into our program after Gateway. So between the program start date and the end of Gateway, there's about 2.5-3 weeks timeline for you to get vaccinated.
Oh.
So hopefully that's helpful. So we're not asking right now that you are, go get vaccinated right now if you're still on the fence. So if you want to wait until after that Gateway session, please feel free to.
I definitely appreciate it because I was like, oh man, I got to go out and go get it right now.
No, we're not requiring it for Gateway, especially since it's still a part of our application process, only if you are accepted into our program.
Yeah.
Awesome. Does anybody else have any other questions we can tackle?
Yeah, I do have a question. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
So I read in one of the emails I got from you, Kelsey, that it is required, the vaccine is required by the start date. I was just wondering how would we like email you guys how we're going to confirm that we have the vaccine? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Between the day, typically we make gateway decisions pretty quickly. So you find out around a day or two after and get a phone call or hear from an email from us on your status after gateway. And then if you accept to be in our program, we're looking for a bunch of information. So we're gathering emergency contacts, information to pay you and all of these things. And so included in there, we'll ask for you to send a picture of your vaccine card.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I was also wondering if the entire program was going to be virtual.
That's a great question too. Right now we are starting off, Gateway is 100% virtual. We've got a couple people maybe in the call from couple different cities. And so just kind of, we are monitoring and researching what's going on in today's world. I know it's an interesting world that we're living in. And so monitoring and making sure that we're making the most safe decision. So we will likely start off our programs virtually with hopes of in-person touch points along the way as that becomes available, depending on, kind of what's going on and what's safest for our team and for our apprentices. We obviously would love to see you all in person and give hugs and all of the things. But we want to make sure that we're, following safety protocols, not only that the world's doing, but also our company as well. So TBD, hopeful. That wasn't an exact answer, but I would go off of virtual with potential in-person touch points.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
I also have a question. My name is Adia. Can anybody hear me? Can everybody hear me?
We can hear you, Adia. Hello.
Hi. I have a question. So I wanted to know, something happened on, I had a, Kelsey, I feel like everybody's like emailing you and everything like that, but I had a interview that I guess, I don't know what happened, but there wasn't anyone that was there when I had the interview. I didn't know for the response to reschedule the interview, is that automatic? Or is that something that I have to wait like a week for? Because I was kind of like nervous. I was like, is it gonna be too late, or
No, you are good. And I'm so sorry that no one was on your interview. I am sorting through, hopefully today and likely early next week, to reschedule all of those that if either I've got a mixed bag of either for some reason our greenhouse application didn't assign for certain days someone on our team to interview. I'm also no recruiting expert, so kind of learning as I go, but have looped in our recruiting team. So we will get that rescheduled on our end if no one was on your call, as well as if you have missed an interview, either emailed me or have said or haven't shown and then emailed me afterwards. We're also looking to reschedule those too. So you'll see that pop in your inbox shortly, either from me or Tim Jordan is actually our expertise recruiter. And so have looped him in to help lean and figure out those situations.
Okay, thank you. And I also have another question. Do you guys don't know if it's a question, but I mean it's a question, but neurodiversity, do you guys ever hire people with that? Do you guys have is that something that, I don't know if anybody knows what that is, but do you ever get applicants that come with neurodivergent, or it's more like ADHD, is that a thing? Or do you guys look at applicants that have that, or?
Hey, I'm gonna chime in on this one. Thanks for asking that question. That's a really, I'm glad you brought that up. We, I'm sure have had applicants that are neurodivergent, but we only know if they disclose. So if you have questions about your own situation or someone who might be applying that I encourage you or that person to reach out to us one-to-one, and we can talk about whether you need, what kind of accommodations you might need, if any. Does that help?
Okay. Yes, thank you.
Okay, cool.
Any other questions? Floor is still open.
Hi, my name is Kyra.
Hi, Kyra.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes, loud and clear.
All right, awesome. Oh no. So I do have a question. So I signed up. I did an application with my CPCC career counselor, and um I submitted an application and I was actually just notified. So hearing from you guys through email, unfortunately it went to my spam, not sure why, but I'm very excited to hear. So I just scheduled my interview, and it's saying here that it needs to be scheduled 2 weeks in advance. I scheduled mine for Monday. Is that, do I need to change that into 2 weeks further on?
No. Sorry, I think I maybe misstated. One, hi, I just saw your email as well pop through.
Um,
Our interview window is actually open in 2-week increments. So you can actually only schedule within 2 weeks. So you can, like, if you applied today and your application was reviewed, I think two ways I said 2 weeks. One, it can take 2 weeks for us to kind of either review an application or get you an answer after your interview phase. And so it takes a little bit of time because we've got a lot of applicants in our pipeline. And then again, once you do, if your application has been reviewed and it's been accepted, you have a 2-week window to schedule your interview. It opens up every 2 weeks is the way the system's set up. So hopefully that helped answer. So you should be good to go on Monday.
all right, sounds good. Thank you so much for answering.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm liking these questions, lots of detail. Does anybody else have anything to ask? Okay, I will take silence as good news. Kelsey, Alex, anything you want to add as we transition or close out?
Nope, all good.
Hooray. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for your time today. You know who to reach out to if you have any further questions. Hope you have a wonderful day. Please take care of yourselves, stay safe, and we hope to hear from you soon. Goodbye, everyone.